Well, Merry Christmas.
Happy Holidays!
I, said Merry Christmas.
Happy Holidays! Yeah, that's what I said. Happy Holidays!
Just say Merry Christmas.
I don't know what my viewers celebrate, Stan. I'm just trying to cover all my bases.
Just say it!
Ew, that sucked. But happy holidays! Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about American Dad. Or more specifically, their Christmas episodes. Because if American Dad is known for one thing, it's for having really good Christmas episodes. Now, I am aware some of y'all wanted me to highlight American Dad's version of Santa, who in this version is a recurring villain that sounds like Buckle.
I don't do truces. That's the one thing every kid knows about me. That, and that I shoot lightning!
But I thought this was more fun. And there's always next year. Unfortunately, I have no honorable mentions. If your favorite episode did not make the list, I'm sorry, but hey, it gives you something to do on Christmas. So let's discuss. Starting with...
Remember last year at Christmas, I got you both 3 hole punches so you wouldn't have to fight over one?
No, last year on Christmas we pretended we didn't see you walk into the Sizzler by yourself. That's all I remember.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, this is probably my least favorite out of all of the American Dad Christmas episodes. But I will still admit it's a good episode. You are allowed to think something's bad, but recognize that it's great, or it has its merits. I mean, I don't like Starbucks, but I recognize the value it brings people in the morning, so it deserves a spot on this list. When you're a kid, Christmas is the best time of the year. You get presents, cookies, candy canes, awesome sauce TV specials, and depending on where you live, you get tons of snow. Plus there's the Norrid Santa tracker. My childhood was awesome. Awesomer than all of yours. But when you're an adult, it's basically another day with month-long homework. For me, I guess because now I can afford to buy presents for myself, it just feels like a normal day. Just a day where nobody has school or work, I happen to order Chinese food, and my family is there. Stan is no exception.
Oh, honey, the tree isn't done. Go get the angel from Roger's attic.
This isn't our tree, Angel.
What are you doing up there? You better not be goofing around.
I'm pretty sure this is how Shrek 4 started. As a result, he begins to idolize Principal Lewis, who, as an unmarried bachelor, and can do whatever he wants on Christmas.
P&P, peppermint latte, and peacockin', see? I add a little flair to let the ladies know I mean business.
Hey, Soul Santa.
Even though he has a daughter who's voiced by Raven. Seriously, where is she? During the holiday party, I got you, Stan. Stan unknowingly makes a Christmas wish to be like Lewis. And awakens the next morning with their lives switched. Stan is now a bachelor while Lewis is part of the CIA. And Roger, due to stuff, is Stan's roommate, Laszlo Morphine.
So me and my good friend, Laszlo Morphine. Me and Laszlo.
Cool name. Stuff happens, and Stan realizes that he does love his family, and being a bachelor on Christmas is the same as being... You know what, I think I actually used this joke too much in the video, so the first time I'm gonna say, it's like wishing for Mr. Hanky to come, and it's like somebody just flushed out the sewer system with Pepto-Bismol. Come on, there's perks! You get to go to Cracker Barrel. However, here's the problem, at least for me. Stan seems to learn his lesson after Bullet showers him with bullets.
Sometimes I wonder if what we do makes any difference at all.
Is that why he's called that? And McLaren's angel grants his wish of returning to his family. Only because American Dad likes to have their twists.
It's your real family.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Pop!
Merry Christmas, Daddy! Merry Christmas, Schmoopsy.
Yeah, so as it turns out, the Smiths, the family we followed since day one, aren't really Stan's family. They were just there to teach him a lesson, but the angel who handled his case died, so stuff happened.
Wait, Francine, Steve, and Haley aren't my real family?
No, they're your cautionary family. It was supposed to be temporary.
And somehow Stan doesn't remember the fact he had an old family. And what's the point of this entire show if that family's fake? Admittedly, it's a bit of a nitpick, but that's really frustrating. So just do what I do and have headcanons. I just tell myself that this was another test. The Smiths really are Stan's family. The angel was trying to show Stan how good he had it by basically giving him everything he wanted. Think about it. A wife who's way hotter than Francine. A preppy, dutiful daughter, a jock son, all of whom have Bible names. His wife is Mary, his daughter is Ruth. I can only assume his son is something like Joseph or John. But I remember watching this episode the night it came out and being kind of upset with the twist. Regardless, it has some good humor and a great message, so go watch.
Now is your chance to destroy those figurines you hate. Oh no, Greg! They broke the figurines!
Fun fact, this episode almost did not make it onto the list. Into the Jingle Burst was supposed to take its place. But 1, it's a more modern episode, and 2, I did like it, but Stan, why did you go to freaking Santa? You already know he hates your behind. He doesn't do truces. Only concept I did like was the Jingle Verse itself, which I feel like they could have done without Santa. Season's Beatings is a much better candidate, even if it also has its own problem. Jeff wants to have a bebe, and because orphanages are apparently still a thing, he adopts one the same way you buy a pizza. He names his adopted son Nemo.
Meet our son. I named him after my favorite character in literature, Nemo. From the novelization of the film Finding Nemo.
Oh, I thought it was like Little Nemo, like Billy Quizboy's code name. While upset at first, Haley quickly welcomes her new son.
Leave me alone, baby. You're my baby!
I feel like I would do this if I ever had children. Maybe one day. While this is going on, Stan gets excommunicated from the church for attacking Roger Jesus during a play.
Santa continued the assault while shouting anti-Jesus slurs.
You don't deserve to be on that cross, you lazy, wine-loving bisexual!
However, Stan can re-enter his religion if he fulfills one of several criteria.
You'd have to find the Holy Grail?
Come on, Stan, you can find the Holy Grail. Look deep inside yourself. You won't fail. Find your grail. Or put on a Broadway musical. That should be easy. Your son's best friend is Jewish. You won't succeed on Broadway without one.
Or donate $10 million to charity. That's how Jared from Subway got back in.
Oh, Stan, oh no, don't do that, no. The only other way for him is to kill the Antichrist, who just happens to be Nemo. Oh, that's convenient. But Jeff, you aren't winning yourself any favors. But there is one reason I'm not too fond of this episode. Haley.
Oh, Haley, stop! But I love him so much!
Haley discovers that Nemo is the Antichrist, like way after everybody else does, and that he caused her husband and Father Donovan to die.
Don't touch my Satan, baby!
Despite this, she intends to protect him, even shooting Stan if need be.
Stop! I'll shoot you, Dad, I swear!
Haley, what? Maybe you and Jeff do belong together. Keep in mind, unlike Steve, she's not even hypnotized. I think it would have made more sense if she thinks Stan is lying or just acting crazy, like, oh, you don't want to be a grandpa so bad? Look, Dad, he's just a little boy. On the other hand, I guess it's also Haley's fault the Rapture happened. Wonder how she got into heaven that way. Rather than finding a way for Nemo to control his powers, she hands him off to Sarah Palin.
Nemo will find his way to political power and destroy the world.
Oh, good night there, you little blessing you.
At least we know he'll never get into politics.
I'll see you again, Stan Smith, when the Rapture comes!
Oh, it's a prequel, even though Father Donovan was alive in that one episode, but hey.
Blessings to you and yours on this most joyous of holiday seasons.
Did he actually say that?
Blessings to you and yours on this most joyous of holiday seasons!
Oh.
I'll tell you what it's doing here. You changed something in the past that affected the future.
Stan Smith, you destroyed America!
As South Park showed us, Christmas can be a weird time for some people, especially if you don't celebrate a holiday most of the rest of the world does. I myself view Christmas as two separate holidays. Christmas, the religious holiday that celebrates the birth of Christ, and the secular one almost everybody else celebrates, where it doesn't matter your religious affiliation. You just celebrate, have goodwill towards men, try to be as inclusive as you can, and honor other people's traditions. Stan is upset that people keep trying to be sensitive about Christmas, saying Happy Holidays, tearing down religious symbols, and not having Christmas carolers, which the last part, why would you not want that? Seriously, that's awesome. Best part of this whole scenario, Stan knows who's to blame, and it's not Mr. Booze.
Jane Fonda. She had to revitalize their dying movement by going to North Vietnam and humanizing the enemy. I'm Hanoi Jane! Don't kill communists! Look at my boobies!
I don't know what that means. I thought she did some good movies. Stan, I need an illustrious song and dance about Jane Fonda like you did with Ollie North. Educate me! I want to learn. That night, Stan is visited by the ghost of Christmas Past, who sounds like Wanda from BoJack.
Because you've forgotten the true meaning of Christmas. Take my sleeve, Stan.
At first, it seems like your typical Christmas Carol story. Stan's gonna learn a lesson and then set everything straight. Until...
And Jane Fonda is filming her Oscar-winning role in Clute. Stan? What? Hey, no! Dude, where are you going? You can't run away!
Damn it, Michelle, did you not read up on this dude? But I do always like how her voice changes from Christmas Past to Christmas Past. This leads into a great time travel episode where Stan has to confront the truth about Christmas and fix his mistakes before it gives us an awful future I will not spoil, in the spirit of the holidays. Meanwhile, in a cool subplot, Roger gets to reap the benefits of inventing disco, thanks to Stan and Francine. I also think this is the first episode to establish he came from Roswell.
You've only been here 4 years.
Try 60.
You've been here 60 years?
Yeah, I crashed in Roswell in 47. Thanks for finally asking.
However, I do have one question. I want to see what the other Christmas ghosts were gonna do, like if Michelle delayed their plans or something, or was it only Michelle? Like maybe Stan's problem with Christmas is rooted in nostalgia, so she was sent to do it? That would make an awesome episode.
Please stop! We're heading right for Humbaba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba!
Szanto is right. Christmas is kid stuff, because they're the only ones dumb enough to believe in it.
Okay, I have a question for you guys in my comment section. How old were you when you realized Santa was fake? And what were your thoughts after that? Oh yeah, sorry to any of my younger viewers, there is no Santa. It's probably your mom or your dad. Me, I was like 12, I think. I just remember getting a tooth pulled that year and my cousin telling me that there was no tooth fairy. My parents just gave me money. So, since I was a curious kid, I went on Wikipedia and I realized, oh no, she's right. That must mean there's no Santa. I remember that feeling. You feel like you're lied to, hollow and empty inside. It's a great feeling, and Steve experiences it. The Smiths decide that this year, they'll get the jump on Santa by hiding out in special pods.
And if it's not Santa, it's something else. No one's even mentioning the time I wished you all away and got a better family.
What? Huh?
Sorry, what?
Maybe it's like the vacation goo, but Steve, who actually wants to celebrate Christmas, sneaks away into the town, where he and a bunch of kids are kidnapped by Santa to ride on the Polar Express. Nah, fam.
Oh no! This boy fainted? He needs juice and maybe a sugar cookie. And what the hell, I'll take one too.
Oh my God!
Wow, Steve gets kidnapped from manual labor a lot. Actually, I think twice, so that means I would have 2 nickels. And I would sing, but I've had a cold for like the last week, so yeah, sorry. Good thing he did not have to sign himself over to Santa to work and build a giant wall with the help of Mr. Stretchy Elf.
He clipped my ears and stretched my body.
My name's Puddin'.
Ew! The family has to travel to the North Pole to rescue Steve, and even enlist the help of Krampus Jack, who possibly, due to also having Krampus's subconscious, has become a bus driver in downtown Baltimore.
Grab myself a slice of paradise.
In Baltimore.
Well, technically, I'm living in Woodlawn, but yes, for an out-of-towner, Baltimore.
I had to go there for MorokuCon. I can understand the feeling. However, once they get to the North Pole, they find that Santa's new goal isn't just to get rich, but to take over the world.
More questions about my grand design, we're going to take a journey back in time. There'll be a little movie, a brief Q&A session.
And this causes Steve's heart and love of Christmas to shatter.
Think about your Christmas love.
What's to love? The whole holiday was just a front for a slave mining operation because some lunatic wanted to take over the world.
Wait, but shouldn't Steve know that Santa's evil and junk? I mean, yeah, but as far as Steve knew in the previous episodes, Santa was a bad guy, but he was also doing his job. Or he was getting revenge for highly justified reasons. Or defending himself. Outside of Minstrel Krampus, but in that instance, maybe you can argue that Stan and Santa thought they were rescuing Steve from getting beaten or something. Here, Santa, the good old spirit of Christmas, outright says he wants to take over the world with Gilgamesh. And it causes Steve to lose faith in Christmas, so much so that it actually kind of saves the day.
I hate Christmas!
Oh, and it kills Santa. Is this really such a bad thing? I mean, look at the Star Wars tank. If you like ancient mythology, like I do, and jokes about Neil deGrasse Tyson, check out this episode. If not, I can't stop you.
You'll catch your death out here!
Honey, just because snow is the same color as our refrigerator doesn't mean you know how it works.
Well, at least I don't think I know everything about everything.
As we all know, Stan is a mega Christmas ho-ho-ho. You know, I was gonna say the W word, but I wanted to do a pun. And also, YouTube. This time, Stan believes his Christmas isn't up to par because his family is awful at decorating.
No, what happened here?
What do you mean? The halls are fully decked. Dad, we've been working on this all day.
I'd give you an A for effort, but this isn't UC Santa Cruz.
Stan seems like one of those people who feels he has no control over his own life, so he hyper-focuses on stuff like cleaning or decorating just to make him feel like he's in control of something.
Dan, you're ruining our Christmas.
No, I'm trying to save your Christmas.
If this were an AU, he would totally be the one to have written The Room. In order to complete Stan's masterpiece, they need a special Christmas tree. Obviously, they can't just go to liquidators like my family does. Come on, I did something cute with my tree. This year, I put all my con badges on, like as ornaments.
Wrong, bare spot.
This one's nice.
Lopsided.
How about this one?
Haley, do you even know what a tree is? Keep looking.
Stan locks his family in the car while he goes to get the tree, in the winter, in Virginia, with no heat.
Jingle, jingle, bell, bell. Jingle, jingle. Hey, how come everybody's dying?
I know, right? Meanwhile, Stan himself has a near-death experience and ends up in heaven. Well, technically purgatory, but most of the episode does take place in heaven, so he's in heaven, where everything is fine. He's told he has a chance to return if and only if he goes through a trial that proves whether or not he deserves a second chance at life. As we know, Stan is not the best person. I mean, that's what makes the show funny. But the angels know it. I mean, look at what he did to Steve for simply having a dream.
Ah!
What? What's wrong?
Oh God, I had the worst nightmare. I took advice from Steve. Why would I give my kidney to a bum? Stay out of my dreams.
Bad, Steve. Bad. It's kind of like the ending to Sleepy Time from SpongeBob, but in real life, and showing how stupid that would be. To make matters worse, his heaven-appointed lawyer is Michelle.
Whoa! Could you not flap over here? Oh, the papers I pretend to look at when I'm in court.
Why did she sound like Lucky's sister, and Bird Girl, and Golden Amber, and I think she was also in Criminal Minds?
Oh god, not him.
Why? What's wrong?
Counselor? Michelle?
Hi, Daddy.
That judge needs to excuse himself. It's a conflict of interest. While not as big of an episode as Rapture's Delight, it is still a fun experience for the holidays. And that's all I can really say. Speaking of fun fact, remember Michelle, the ghost of Christmas Past, / the former Tooth Fairy? Well, she was supposed to be in this episode, but they couldn't get Lisa Kudrow to come back. Maybe it would have been something like she was fired for that whole stunt, so she became a lawyer. Instead of just keeping her character and recasting her, they retooled her into Stan's lawyer, Michelle, a totally separate character, an angel without any wings, and a terrible legal track record. Poor girl.
Thanksgiving is over, Francine. We can't live in the past. The Christmas season has now begun.
I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Groundhog Day episodes. Unlike corsets or torture devices, I have no particular reason, I just don't prefer them. Maybe it's because, for me, they're like zombies. There really is nothing new you can do with them, it's almost always the same plot. However, that doesn't mean all of them are inherently bad. This episode was alright. This Christmas, the Smiths are going to the mall for the tree lighting festival. Unlike Stan, the family is not infused.
163 feet tall, secured in place by over 6,000 total feet of 200K PSI reinforced steel tension wire.
How do you know all that?
Just eyeballing it.
I understand. I have a message for anybody who wants to go see the tree at 30 Rock. Don't. There's too many people. You'll be stuck there for hours like a sardine in a claustrophobic can. It's not worth it. It's just a freaking tree. If you want to see it so badly your life depends on it, just go at midnight. Or drink Kwanzaa when nobody'll be there. In the celebration, the Smiths horrifically die in a fire. Except for Stan. He doesn't die. Right after he had an argument with the family. Wow, this family fights all the time on Christmas. Dude, you have to do what we did and, turn your anger towards everybody else. That was the best part of Christmas.
Francine! Haley! Steve! Maxon!
Stan soon finds he's stuck in one of those Happy Death Day time loops, where the only way to break it is to save his family. And once again, I'm not a big fan of Groundhog Day plotlines, but I feel like this episode has a cool twist on the concept. Normally with these loops, the catch is you're trapped there potentially indefinitely. I mean, look at Orpheus and Eurydice. This time, Stan only has a certain amount of tries.
Not over and over. See the lucky numbers here on your fortune? Classic time loop countdown. I'd say you only got 3 loops left.
Which only adds to the conflict, and I feel makes the episode more interesting. What? Bill Murray was lucky. He was gonna be freed eventually, just not today.
Santa's after you, huh? Y'all best follow me then. I got a spot where no one's gonna find you. Won't hear when I make you squeal like a pig, neither.
What?
What? It established the good old-fashioned Santa hates the Smith family plotline. I need to include it somewhere. For Christmas, Stan wants to buy Steve a gun.
Promise you won't get him one for Christmas.
I promise I won't get Steve a gun for Christmas. Merry Wednesday, son!
A machine gun?
Yay! Okay, you might hate me for saying this, but I don't particularly mind this idea in concept. I just mind how Stan implemented it. To me, there's nothing wrong with owning it. What is wrong is using it irresponsibly, and Stan fails every step of the way. First off, rather than getting Steve actual lessons or storing it away in a safe or something like that when Steve isn't using it, or at least making sure nobody but Stan can get access to it, or, showing him how to do it safely somewhere where there's no people, he just takes them outside. And instead of starting him off small with, say, a handgun, something he would actually be able to handle, or maybe teach him how to shoot something that's like an animal, he gives Steve a freaking AK-47.
Almost shot my eye out!
No, Stan, you broke 2 of Steve's eyes, cause he has 4 eyes. Bad Stan. In the process, Steve accidentally shoots who they presume to be a mall Santa.
I didn't see him. Is he...
Dead? Were you gonna ask if he's dead?
I was gonna ask if he's okay!
Oh, no. No, he is dead.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's fine. He either has no life, or he's an older dude who needs money. Who's gonna miss him?
The body's gone!
The Smiths have been naughty, and that makes Santa not nice.
No, that was the wrong one. Seriously, Stan, you couldn't just take Steve to shoot a deer? Then you could have had Christmas dinner and a great bonding experience. Or what about a turkey? Well, then again, as established by Buck Wild, Stan is terrified of deer, and probably would also be terrified of a turkey. Those things have claws. And his version of hunting is playing a super complicated video game and going on a fancy vacation. Plus, as we all totally know, turkeys only come out around Thanksgiving, or whenever they feel ready and accepted by society. Whichever comes first, so sucks to suck. The Smiths take refuge with Roger and his new moonshine buddy.
You're totally safe, and you look fantastic.
But at the same time, that's kind of a stupid plan. Really, Santa's worse than the Predator. He's the biggest voyeur of all time. He knows if you're sleeping, awake, where you live, probably where you are at any given time, if you're on the toilet. Damn, Santa needs to be put on an FBI watch list. He's gonna find y'all wherever you go. But why worry? Stan, you're a secret agent, and we all know the easiest way to take out a magical being is with a bullet. You showed us that. The Smiths assume they're safe. Too bad this is also when Haley was married to Jeff, who both told Santa where Bob Todd was so he knew where to deliver presents, and he also went straight there to spend Christmas with his wife.
What is he doing here?
I called him. I wanted to spend Christmas with my husband.
I'm gonna be honest once again, this is one of those episodes where I hated Jeff. He was such a liability. Look, I'll admit I like Jeff nowadays, and his actor, the real Jeff Fisher, is actually a pretty nice dude on Instagram. He's liked a lot of my stories. But Jeffrey, my boy, it was a long way for you to win your way into my heart. Steve is technically the reason for the La Vendetta, but on his part, it was an accident, and he's also a minor. The fault more so lies with Stan, the actual gun owner who should know responsibility, but Jeff, dude, I know Haley's like, Dad, don't yell at Jeff, he didn't know. So you couldn't have brought him up to speed? He's your husband. You couldn't just say, Jeff, we're gonna be hiding here for Christmas. Do not tell Santa, babe. As a result of Jeff's dumbassery, the Smiths are forced to fight Santa with guns and chips, and so the balance shifts. Well, they mostly only have the first one because mountains. However, for all of the crap I have given Jeff, he has a really cool moment here, saving Haley's father, who he admits he doesn't like.
Even after all I said, you still saved my life.
I didn't do it for you. I did it for Haley. She's my wife.
At the cost of never getting a single present ever again, Santa seems to offer Jeff his ultimate present on the condition he betray the family.
You don't have to die with the Smiths! I got you that polar bear helmet from the Golden Compass that you asked for.
Of course Jeff would enjoy an awful movie like that. Sucks too, the effects were decent. However...
Sorry about this, Santa!
Dang, good for you, dude. The Smiths are able to survive, barely, until the dawn comes.
Damn! We only had until Christmas Day. Everyone Everyone, back to the North Pole! Retreat!
And from there, we have our typical Christmas plotline. Santa trying to get revenge on the family for killing him and burying his body, and then foiling him and the family realizing he's kind of a bad person. Only there's one dangling plot thread on all of this: Mrs. Claus. When Santa is in the tank thing, I think that's a Star Wars reference, we see Mrs. Claus doing some knitting. With such nonchalantness, it makes me wonder how often he dies. How many vendettas does he have against teenage boys and their gun-toting fathers? Outside of this small cameo, we don't see her in any other episode. Missed opportunity. Is she as evil as her husband? A mob wife? Does she keep his criminal activities hidden from her? Is she a vampire?
We can't fly without Hanukkah magic. Before I was abducted, I was just a college student trying to get my exercise science degree from the University of Miami.
You? As has become apparent in this video, there is the constant theme that Christmas sucks if you don't celebrate, which is why they invented Chinese food, movies, and Las Vegas, not Atlantic City. Compared to Las Vegas, it's so boring now. The Smiths believe Santa is dead and they can now actually celebrate the holiday. Did you not forget about that first episode? This dude cannot be killed. Instead of running for their lives, they can actually have a good holiday.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm sewing Christmas stockings that actually fit everyone's feet. I came up with the idea myself. Can you believe it?
I can.
Unlike them, Snot is starting to feel a little upset around Christmas time because he's a lonely Jew on Christmas who only has Hanukkah.
Sometimes we play dreidel or eat latkes, and sometimes we don't and just go to bed. It's kinda boring.
Lucky, he gets to eat latkes. I've always wanted to try them. Actually, are latkes potato pancakes like you get at IHOP? I think my college served them once. They were so good. Roger decides to celebrate with Snot, which Snot informs him is a boring celebration because they don't have any cool figures. What they do have is a Rugrat special, and Fiddler on the Roof has that bottle dance, which I'm just now realizing Spamalot stole. I bet that was something they made up. Feeling upset, Roger decides to bring Hanukkah into the mainstream consensus, which, yeah, I guess it kind of is, but not to the extent Roger wants it, by stealing Santa's frozen body and wearing his suit. Oh my god, that suit must friggin' stink. By Tim Allen's Santa Claus rules, this turns him into Jewish Santa, with Santa powers.
But how can I be Santa? I'm Jewish. Could I be Jewish Santa? With Santa powers? Schmanta!
Okay, Schmanta Sloss. Kinda makes me wonder about our Santa. On the bright side, this is a musical episode, kind of. Roger and Snot are practically the only ones who actually sing, but at least there are songs. While the world starts to love Hanukkah, Snot is starting to resent it more and more, because they aren't properly celebrating. You know, by lighting the menorah.
Hanukkah's #1 now!
Yeah, so it's sundown. Maybe we should light the menorah.
Ah, that's Christmas.
Rather, they're partying with Enrique Iglesias and oil wrestling. Wait, is all of this a take on how commercialized Christmas is? Thankfully, Snot discovers a way to reanimate Santa via the Torah. Golem, baby!
Now, we just need this.
Oh my god, is that blood?
Yeah, calm down.
Santa gets his suit back, Christmas is back to normal, and so is Hanukkah. But Snot has learned that it's not all bad. He still has his mama.
So, you want to get Chinese food and watch a movie?
Of course, Mom. It's tradition.
Alright, with this done, I'm gonna go eat my ketchup and spinach cookies. And I will have a bucket nearby just in case I puke.
Oh, I cannot wait for the Rapture! You're gonna be left behind! You're gonna be left behind! You're gonna be left behind! You're gonna be left— Wait! There's been a mistake! Lift me up, Lord!
If I don't talk about this episode, I will have picked a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies. As I said above, Christmas is two holidays to most people, religion and secular. However, Christmas is still rooted in Christianity. Well, paganism. It's complicated. I don't know. Well, Christianity says that you should go to church every Sunday. This is something most people don't do nowadays. We have lives. Or just aren't Christian to begin with. Now let me tell you a little riddle. What do airports and churches have in common? Well, Christmas is their busiest day of the year, in my opinion. But one doesn't get delayed due to inclement weather like last year. Stan is upset that most people only really go to church on holidays, especially Christmas, while he, a devout Christian, forces his entire family, including his atheist daughter, to go every Sunday. Haley, I know your pain.
Great, no spaces. Thanks to the fair weather Christians who only show up on Christmas and Easter. Well, we'll see how fair the weather is when the Rapture comes and they're all left behind.
But Stan, if you're that much of a Christian, why don't you just go to the midnight mass? Come on, nobody else will be there. To make it up to Stan, Francine convinces him to screw her in a church closet. Which, yeah, maybe don't do that.
Then I've been naughty, and you'll have to put a big piece of coal in my stocking.
Then again, lucky that church has actual closets. Growing up, my church did not even have a baby room or bathrooms. The sinful stocking stuffer causes the pair to miss out on the rapture, which, as explained by Andy Samberg Puppet Man,
Jesus is coming back. Did he forget something?
Nope! Jesus is coming back for Armageddon!
Ooh, good job! Now tell me about water buffaloes and manatees and hairbrushes and islands of perpetual tickling through song and adult references. Once again, I don't want to give too much away of the episode, but it's really good. Besides, it was nice to see Michelle the lawyer once again. Great to see she still has her wings. And she's not a lawyer, she's got a job she's happy with. If I did have to assign a flaw, as there is no such thing as a perfect episode, I think Haley and Steve were pretty underused. At the beginning of the episode, they get raptured, which makes sense. Most doctrine says it has nothing to do with your fate. If you're good, you usually will get paradise. Haley and Steve are normally good people, whereas Stan embodies all of the 7 deadly sins by thinking he's better than everyone. He's like Frollo. Plus, unlike their parents, they didn't do the nasty in a church. While the pair are assigned personal heavens, and we do briefly get to see Steve's,
Pepper jack cheese. It's my heaven.
Ew, I would not eat that crap. We don't get to see Haley's, which gives me questions. Would she be cool with this? What would her room include? Would she even want to go to heaven? I could totally see her trying to find a way to get back to Earth. Perhaps to help her parents, or Roger, or Jesus rebuild civilization or something like that. Imagine, Haley the leader.
I hope you don't mind blueberry crepes for breakfast.
With homemade chocolate!
Fun fact, Krampus has 2 voice actors in this one episode. Danny Glover is his speaking voice, yeah I know, and Charles Bradley is his singing voice. RIP Charles Bradley. As you can guess by now, American Dad Christmas episodes often make fun of one facet of Christmas. This episode makes fun of how kids act like brats during Christmas time. As a child, I'm sure you were constantly told around the holidays that if you did not behave or clean your room or act like a decent human being, you would get a lump of coal in your stocking. But then Christmas came and you still got presents because no parent is gonna punish you that harshly, even if you were a bully. I was the same way, at least until I was no longer an only child, and that meant I only got half of the presents. Why did my sister have to be born? That was a lifelong punishment. The holidays are here, and in a musical spectacular, Steve starts to act like a giant brat.
It's too expensive!
But it's Christmas! I get whatever I want!
If you're a good boy. Steve and Anita!
Wow, Steve really acts like a brat during the holidays. Remember Thanksgiving? To scare Steve straight, Stan takes Steve to visit Jack in prison, who tells him about how back in his day, the naughty kids actually got punished by Krampus.
Back then, Krampus would have come for you.
Krampus?
Yes, Krampus, Steve. That's what we call our menstrual cramps. Oh, I just got the title. But unlike y'all plebs, I heard about him before the movie came out. Jack relays the story about how he captured Krampus as a child, and that's why naughty kids get off scot-free.
He was neck deep in mutter strudel, so I trapped him in that copper pot. Copper potted him good.
Stan tries to free Krampus in order to punish Steve, but instead of just scaring him, Krampus captures Steve and takes him to his castle in Bavaria, telling Stan that unless he gets Jack, he will hold Steve captive. And I'm just gonna put it out there, I know nothing about Bavaria beyond the fact that Maria Josepha, the Holy Roman Empress, was from there, and her death from smallpox led to the death of her sister-in-law, who was also named Maria Josepha. In order to get Steve back, Stan has to team up with Santa, because Jack runs away. Only, as it turns out, Krampus is good by comparison. He wants to help kids, he just doesn't know any other way to punish them besides that.
Maybe for people to turn out good, they need a beating every now and then.
That's why the world needs Krampus. It hurt you more than it hurt me, didn't it?
But I endured it because I care.
I mean, you can't just talk to them. Now, I'll be honest, outside of them saying, like, oh, beating kids is good, I love this episode. I'll even watch it outside of December. Plus, there's another backstory here. I remember being 13 and waiting for it in 2012, and then we got another Wheels in the Lake Man episode. For those of you who don't know, there is a really sad reason it got pulled. That same month, the Sandy Hook shooting took place, and Fox thought it was in poor taste to air the episode so close to the tragedy, which I don't really understand. But all I had to hang on to for a year were brief clips and an interview with the writers and Scott Grimes. The next year, the episode finally aired, and I spent the whole time wondering, what was the big deal? Was it because Steve was getting his butt kicked? That's understandable, but I don't think it warrants getting the episode pulled. Then we got Act 3.
Looks like I'm big man on Krampus.
Yeah, maybe it was a good thing it did not air back then. If you want a musically charged Christmas episode about Christmas and child abuse, this is the episode for you. Watch it, or you get the rod.
You better be good, boys and girls, or I'll beat you until blood's coming from your ears and your eyes and your mouth. Merry Christmas!